Hey, hello everyone. We're gonna build a leather strap for an Apple Watch Series 7 today in 45 millimeters. So I don't get a lot of requests for Apple Watches since in the world of mechanical watches, people tend to go for luxury watch straps more often than your average Apple Watch owner. But in this case, they requested something special, which is to engrave the names of their two children on a leather strap. So this is what I have so far in terms of design. It's pretty similar to my other straps design, except that this is about 5 to 6 millimeters, a little bit longer, just to accommodate a larger wrist. And for hardware, I have everything matching: black buckle and all the black adapters to accommodate the black Series 7 Apple Watch. So everything is going to be matching in this build. All right, so that's what I have here. Everything is modeled and measure correctly. We transfer over that file to a DXF and be opened into my laser software. And this is what I have here to be cut on the flat pattern, lower and upper straps, and the name of their two children's right here. Right? So this is what we have on the laser file. Everything seems to be looking good. I double check and measure everything, and let's hop over to the laser. Just cut it out. So what I have here is a piece of natural veg tan, 1.2 millimeters thick, which is about 3.5 ounces of Italian Buttero full grain leather. It's been treated with Resolene, so this is going to be pretty resistant to sweat and UV. So again, this is really rich and beautiful. It's being held by some magnets on my laser cutting bed, and we're just gonna ahead and track it right now. Make sure nothing is hitting. All right, laser pad is clear. Let's just start cutting and engraving. And the first pass is just gonna engrave the smaller strap, which is it's gonna contain a smaller airplane logo on the outboard side, as well as my maker's mark on the inside of the shoulder strap. That red dot that you see, that's not the actual laser. That's just an indicator of where the laser is gonna cut. The actual wavelength of the cutting laser is invisible. Right. So right now it's engraving the name of their two kids. I love that font. It looks like handwritten, but it's not. So, and he's just going around and doing the final cutting. Of the straps. So right now we're just punching the holes for the stitching on the straps, and those are the holes for the buckle tongue. I put some tapes at the end on the left hand side, because once it was cut off, it was curling up, just to hold it down so the holes can be punched accurately. Again, this leather is fairly new, and it hasn't had time to set yet and be flattened. Alright, so we got that looks pretty good. Let's just do some minor cleanup and see what we got. Alright, so I finished cleaning some of the surface laser residue, and it's looking really good. That engraving is super sharp. Nice. It's the back. Looking good. So next thing we're gonna do is glue this up. I get this full grain leather. It's insanely strong. What I'm gonna do is, like my other wash straps, I'm gonna fold it over, and it's gonna be continuous. So that's what makes it really strong. So we're using some leathercraft cement from Phoebe's. Pretty good stuff. I have a little bit of that in my dispensing bottle, and we're gonna run a thin bead line along the perimeter. And some on the inside, and in between the holes to give it a nice adhesion. So let's fold this over and line it up. To ensure alignment, I like to use a couple of needles here. Since the holes are pre-punched, I'm just gonna put one here, make sure that it is nice and square. I'm gonna put one down, further down, like around here. Right, so that ensures me that my gluing is nice and square. I'm just gonna start pressing it down around, all the way down to the end. Make sure that everything is nice and square and parallel. And this is pretty much manual. You can't really rush this, and you know, otherwise nothing will be lined up. All right, so all the way up to here. Right, I have 2 pieces of acrylic that I'll use to clamp this down. I can use a glue inject, but I find it to be easier to use just regular binder clips. So this is 1/4 inch acrylic, and you know, that ensures that I have a flat and even glue up. Like this. And I'm just going ahead and throw some binder clips just to get it set up. And once it sets, I'm going to move it to my bungee jig. And you know, just to make it easier. Right, so it's going to be like this, and just wait for it to glue. On the next piece, I gotta fold this over first, and this is where the buckle is gonna go, and the tongue of the buckle is gonna go through the slit. So what I like to do is to fold this over first, and we're gonna glue it like this, because there'll be a stitch line to hold it down. All right, so just go ahead and add a thin bit of glue on the back side of this, because that's where the critical line is gonna be. Right, and a little bit in between. Make sure that it's properly held together. That looks pretty good. Let me cut my bottle. All right, so again, we're gonna fold this over. I'm gonna use 2 needles to line it up, to make sure this is properly aligned. That looks pretty good. I'm just gonna press it down, make sure that the edges meet at the ends. That's good. That's good. And from here, what I like to do is to remove the lining needles and put a smaller binding clip to hold it in place where that sets. Right, and that looks, you can see the light through the holes. That's perfectly aligned. So let's just wait until that dries, and we'll come back to it. All right, so I transferred the larger strap onto my gluing jig. The glue is pretty much dry now. Let's open this up and see what we got. Came out really nice, everything nicely lined up. Right, the hole is perfect. Set this to the side and finish gluing the second piece. I'm gonna basically fold this over, since this part is a little dry. Add a thin bit of glue around here and clamp it down. So that's what we're gonna do next, and put it into the bonding jig. All right, while the other piece is drying, what I like to do is to go around with my edge beveler and just knock down the edges and hold the high spots from the sanding. Again, I removed the laser marks with 120 grit sandpaper, but it kind of creates a raised edge, and that's what we're trying to do here, just to make the burnishing cleaner. And have a more even edge towards the end. So we just go around and knock down, you know, the raised edge, the lip that was created from the sanding. So alright, so after this, clean this up. What I like to do is to give it a little quick sand with a 1000 grit sandpaper. Right. Make sure all the edges are knocked down. That looks good. That looks wonderful. And let's go to burnish these edges next. All right, to burnish the edges, I'm using Japanese Tokono. This is a very good burnishing cream. And what I like to do is to, I have a small amount in this bottle here, is to spread this out. Like so. Let's do this edge first. Distribute my fingers. Right. Get my burnishing tool. Do a quick burnish. To finish it off, I use a heavy canvas bag right here. I just clean up the excess, and and that's what I'm going for, the dark brown burnished edge, and that looks beautiful. All right, I'm gonna finish the other edge. I'm gonna do the same with the other side of the strap, and we'll be ready for some stitching. All right, so we finished burnishing and cleaning up the edges on the straps. We're ready to have it stitched up. The choice of thread for today is purple Japanese Vinymo polyester thread. This is really nice rich color, and it's gonna look beautiful against that natural tan, and it's gonna age beautifully. So let's go ahead and put it into our stitching horse. I like to stitch towards me, so I'm gonna start this way. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started. Let's go right here like this. Thread. Threads. All right. Takes about 30 minutes to finish this all the way around, so I will keep going, and I will see you guys towards the end. All right, so we finished stitching this entire strap here. This came out beautiful. We're gonna finish anchoring the stitching by fusing the ends with my thread zapper here. So let's just trim the ends pretty quick. Just gonna melt that all the way. Let me see if I can get on the camera. That's nice. That dot is nearly invisible. Let's go ahead and do the other end. Make sure it's tight. This is the front side, so it has to be extra careful not to make a mark. Again, let's just fuse it down. Yeah, and that dot is nearly invisible. That came out beautiful. There we go. That is nice. All right. So let's take a closer look at this. It doesn't get any straighter than that. I love the angle tip. Has a touch of modern to the design. The back is just as beautiful too. There's nothing to hide here. Right. So the next thing to do, let me just do some line-up cleanup here, is to put the hardware on this thing. So let's start with the adapters here. These are gloss black on the outside, brush black on the inside. Apple Watch adapters that will fit the 43 and 44, 45 millimeters Apple Watches. And once you put this on, you can use any strap you want by swapping, swapping the strap side, and this will stay on the watch. So that fit is really, really tight and beautiful. So let's just go ahead and put a watch pin through this, right, and make sure that we anchor it. I got my tool right here. Let's see if we can get it on camera. Yep, hit that click. That is in. It's beautiful. I already did this side already. Right, these adapters are nice. Right. Last step, before we do this, I added, I made a couple of loops here, and that will hold the excess strap tight onto the wrist once you wear it. So I'm gonna put this in first before I add the buckle. So, and again, this is a very nice gloss black black buckle, so it matches everything. So it's black on black on black. Let's get the pin started. This is the tongue of the buckle. All right, let's push that through. Nice. And let's just finish up putting this buckle onto the end of this strap right here. Looking for that click. There we go. It's fine. Let's test the fit. So it'll be like this on the watch. It'll loop around the middle hole right here like this. A nice tight fit. It will break in eventually, but there you go. Check that out. Take a look at the back. Move this out of the way. You can see my maker's mark. It's matching stitching on the loops that has been skived. So it's a constant thickness. It's not a full overlap. It's an angle skive. So it's comfortable to wear. But it's nice. So I'm matching here. All right. Let's box it up. All right, let's box this up. What I usually do is feed the wash strap through, and you know, leave it a couple holes here. Make sure everything's lined up. Give it a quick brush here. Find your QC check. That looks good. This is all perfect. Next is to, you know, I usually turn this inwards because, you know, this is kind of sharp. You know, not really sharp, but, you know, they're kind of sharp. So turn them inwards. Put them into my one of my canvas bag. Fold it over like this, and I'll just put it into one of my wash strap cases here. Okay. So there you go. You know who you are. Enjoy your Apple Watch. Happy holidays, everyone. Peace out.